we're seeing, you know. And then we even heard that it was basically trying to circumvent Terry from taking, you know, his leadership role as the elected chairman of this band. That was brought out, you know, by constituents in my area. And that's totally wrong to do that, you know. I don't see why, if we're all in agreement here, which we probably are, that an executive director should never carry that kind of weight. After all, he's hired by this council, right? Huh?
You did.
Yeah.
That's what I was just trying to say.
I'm having a hard time.
Also putting policy in the Constitution.
That's the law. There's nothing super. This isn't even in.
Right.
This isn't even in resolution form. So it's an act ultra virus if you're going to place that responsibility with him when in fact it can't supersede his elected position. He's elected, just like you are. Nobody can take that from you. The only ones that can take that from you are the people themselves.
The band member voted, yeah. That's where it cuts down to. And I guess to cut to the chase of it, we'd need to know, is there ever been a time when the executive director seated now has signed in Terry's place as a signature? That would cut to the chase. Because that's what this I-65 and all this alludes to. You see, we have to, under MCT Constitution and under the I-65, you have a 5-member board. And when it works, you got a chairperson, you got 4 members, and you all work together. Hopefully that's what we hope for, and that's what we pull for. And as voters, we try to put the best people on there we think we can. And then you as a group work together, you hire an executive director, but there's a status quo there. You know, in order for that I-65 and the MCT Constitution to work and tribal government to work, the council has to lead, not the executive director. And I don't know what this reads. It reads as though you're not doing what you wanted to do, but you're adding more power to that executive director position. I don't know. That's, you know, and I think people, maybe they misunderstood it at that. So then, you know, let's just go ahead and rescind this thing. Do we need it?
I don't think you need it.
You know, what was the purpose of it?
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but okay, so Bill, you asked if the ED has ever signed as what?
As a signature.
As a signature.
You brought that up, Terry, yourself when we were taking on Irma Visner, when she made all those deals with the state down there and signed off as Irma Visner chair. You know, but you know, let's not turn it around now and take it away, because you know, you and Terry should be signing as signatures for the wider band. Agreed or not? You know,
Yes.
not the executive director. And it was put out, and I don't know where it come from. But it was put out that when there was their trip when they went to D.C. and supposedly Ken had to approve that, you know, rather than you guys. And that's when I guess for me it really kind of hit home of what the heck is going on here and what's happening, you know, what's you know, and that's what I'm here asking today, I guess, you know.
Can I speak to that? So we'll speak to that one, and I apologize for all of this. Okay, so this was one of the things too, and you can go through the meeting minutes and what used to happen prior. I'll have to go through the meeting minutes. I can't remember the exact date, but the executive director used to sign even for the council. They used to sign the mileage. They used to sign for all of that. That's what the executive director used to do. And then there was a meeting, because remember, there was one district rep that was always just crazy with their mileage, right? They that back, so mileage and TAs were to be signed by the secretary treasurer. At that point, the chair wanted to sign, which was absolutely fine. I know that's great. I'm not here, I mean, it's not a power and control thing. But the thing is the chair at the time was never on the reservation, so we were having a hard time. So it went back down, and I think we made a motion. That signing went back to us. So there was a point, but we have 900 employees. If we were to sign, and if you guys want Terry to sign every TA, I'll make a motion right now that all TA signing authority will go to the chair.
That's understandable, but that doesn't, you know, you have a chairman that was elected to a certain position with specific duties defined, and you're removing that? Or are you saying he would do that? And if he did, isn't that your obligation, all of you, to deal with that?
Just sign travel.
Pardon?
No,
To sign travel
you
or
know,
which
Tara,
part?
he's talking about,
Anything.
oversight.
If he would step out of line with the Constitution, isn't it your obligation to deal with that? Then what's the problem?
You know, we all understand
you
that
know, for me, I don't understand it.
we've
Help me.
come through some quite the times on White Earth. There isn't anyone sitting in this room that doesn't realize that. But we hope to move forward as a group and do the best we can for the most of the people. You know, you aren't gonna please everybody. Hell, we know that. Everybody knows that. But we hope to move forward to do the best we can for the bulk of the people. And in order to do that, we need 5 people sitting on that RBC that'll work together. You know, and
And the whole tribe is like that, right? The whole tribe is like that. And it's a responsibility. All we're saying is, you know, let the people get involved and straighten this mess out, and you folks help us.
And I think at a TEC level with Kevin there now, I think we got a time. I think I feel confident at TEC, you know, with Kevin at the reins up there. I think we can, the people are gonna come. I'm talking about the voter now, the membership voter. They're coming back in power. I really believe that. I think Kevin will make that happen, you know, and I think he's got people, you know. These are changes that we can empower the Minnesota Chippewa tribal voter. And to do that, we'll have to do some election reform on absentee ballots, and it's a whole gambit of stuff that we can talk about, hopefully, you know, in the next year. But I think clearly, I don't know that there's a lot of words here, you know, and I read it, and I read it twice, and I read it 3 times, and I don't know that. I guess for me, I just think it should be rescinded.
I think, and this is one of the things too that I want to bring up, because it was a discussion with Jerry and Mumsy when they first came in and had that. Because one of the pieces that keeps being said is that we're not trying to work together. I'd love to work together, but I'm not really sure exactly what the priorities are of Terry. At one point when we were having that discussion, Cheryl Jackson was in there, Mumsy, Terry, and I said, well, what would you do if this wasn't in place? There was only one thing that Terry told me,
What is considered a quorum?
Does that include the chair?
Well, the acting chair at that time had no vote. We weren't in the process.
But the chair and acting chair cannot vote. The mayor has that vote.
And all these things are wrong too, look at all these votes.
They're no good.
They're no good. All of it's no good. It needs to be trashed.
It says right here,
No.
Section 3, 3 members of the Reservation Business Committee shall constitute a quorum. Robert's rules, no business shall be transacted unless a quorum is present. These are in the bylaws.
You have a chair and 2 council members.
No.
But the chair, if you read the chair, he only votes on exception of a tie, F.
Only time.
One of them could have voted, he's either break the tie. So that's 3.
No.
Well, if you tied,
Yeah.
you still have to have 3/4 quorum though.
And
The
a chair.
chair doesn't vote.
Chair never votes.
How could there be a tie?
You should have been following the bylaws and the Constitution and rescinding them. Yep.
If we look at Article 2, meetings of the Reservation Business Committee, you go to Section 1 and 2 here, it says, A, at any time by the chairman, he can call a meeting. Below that, upon request of at least 3 members of the Reservation Business Committee. See, that's separating you guys. That's you 3, he sits alone.
And when you're acting
He only
chair,
votes unless there's exception of a tie. That's the language in here.
do you guys not read the bylaws? Have you not read the Constitution?
You can't go vote.
And that's what happened to Norman, right?
That's what happened up there.
Yep.
He was voting,
He was voting.
and the bylaw said he couldn't vote.
Right.
And he said, well, that's the way we always do it. Well,
It's unconstitutional.
that may be the way they always did it, but was wrong. All I'm saying is you guys should work together here. And, you know, Tara, Kathy, and Punky, you got
You're not working.
It's cool.
you got the majority here. If that's the fear. But I think, you know, we've all been through a lot here, right? We fought a battle here. All of us stuck together, to deal with the evil that was going on here, right?
Right.
Or did we forget that? I haven't. I take that very personally. What we, when we work together, accomplish. And yes, I talked to Terry, told him my feelings. Hey, if you're in that position, I know what your position was before, but I want you to do one thing, and that's to follow that document. That's all and that's what I'm saying to any one of you. You have to follow that document. This is why we're in the mess we are, because it hasn't been followed. That's all I'm saying. Come on, you guys. You can do better than that.
I believe also, Barbara, that we need to involve our community members, people that voted us in here. 1,256 people said yes in my election.
Yes.
Do I have a muzzle? Do I wear a muzzle because of this document? I don't think so. That's totally wrong.
This is what membership in my community was throwing at me. You know, they said there was a vote. Terry won that vote. And this basically, I had people come to me, and because of the way it was put out, right or wrong, and I don't remember how it was put out and who put it out, but on that Washington trip I'm talking about, and who's gonna go ahead and acknowledge or sign off on that, whatever the term might be. I had people come to me and say, hey, we voted, we had an election, we got a new chairman. And does this try to take our vote away? This is what I had people asking me, and that's what I'm here today, telling you that band members were coming to me with. And that's what we don't need. You know what? That's what that fight was about. That fight that Marv was just talking about, that's what that was about. You know, we had that kind of crap going on, and the band member don't want to see it, you know. We want open, we want to follow the I-65 and the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe Constitution, and we want some transparency in government. We want to know ahead of time, you know, like these minutes. Hey, this is great. We never used to get them, you know. This is great, but I'd like to have them a few days before these quarterlies, you know, so I don't have to sit here today and read back through the minutes, you know.
I'm responsible of the secretary to put that information out, which she's failed to do.
It's out.
No, and I thank you for it, Tara. I mean, yeah, it's good that we're getting them. It's
No,
absolutely,
all
yeah.
we're saying is it'd be nice if we had them ahead of time so
Well,
we
and
review
that's
them.
one of the things too, is that, because really they were supposed to go every week on the website. And I apologize that they're not on there every week,
Yeah.
because and the thing is when you get a big packet, it's kind of hard, and the thing is they are 3 months old, you know?
Yeah.
But my intention was always that once they went up on the website, because remember that's a new thing too that we're trying to do, is that once they're up on the website, it should have been every week, every time that I signed that off, we should have went through, make sure there was no personnel issues on there, and it should have been on the website. So that was always my intention. I'm sorry I haven't had enough time to get it taken care of, and it's on my to-do list, and if you guys ever come in my office, you see that I always have a to-do list, and my calendar is always
And that's understandable.
so.
If there would be a way for that to be available, some way, you know, where it could be in printed form, where people could pick them up down at the RBC offices, that'd be great too, you know. For me, it'd be just good to be able to read the whole thing, everything that you guys dealt with. So if I had any questions, I could ask you at these meetings when you approve, or, you know, the minutes. I just think it makes for better government if people know what's going on.
As a band member, I guess I'd sit here today and I'd ask you, I know I wanted to ask you in Nadawash, and I'll ask you again here today. I know we've got the casino at Hebrew, it's open, it's going, it's gonna be there. What's happening at Star Lake, and as a consensus of the 5 of you people, I'd ask you, what do you feel? And we're hearing, somebody threw a figure at me of 14% of over $100 million. And any of you that sat on that housing board over there know that on that $2.5 million loan that we paid $1 million in interest on in 6 or 7 years, if you looked at that and read that and understood that as a business person, if that's what you want to be, you know you're sunk before you start. If you're going to pay anything over 2 or 3% on millions of dollars, you're sunk before you start. And I've been in business since 1992, and I don't pay much interest.